All right, Mike back with you. Rabblevid News at Hillary Clinton's campaign event on the University of Pittsburgh's campus. I am with Kirk, who is a Donald Trump supporter. He is among some fellow Donald Trump supporters just outside the Hillary Clinton campaign event. Seems even Donald Trump supporters have been relatively friendly in their protest at this event. Kirk, I just want to ask you, why are you a Donald Trump supporter? Why are you supporting Donald Trump for president?
I support Donald Trump for president because I feel like America's going down the wrong path, as many other people do. This is a change election, as many people have already said. If you vote for Hillary Clinton, you're going with the status quo. You think that the country is going in a good direction, and you support that. And if you think things need a change, and a lot of people do, a lot of people are really hurting right now, then you should be voting for Donald Trump because he represents something new. And Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama have both talked often about protecting his legacy, which a lot of people question what exactly his legacy is, because there's a lot of people who have really been hurting, and whether it is a direct result of Barack Obama or not, the president tends to get blamed often for things that aren't necessarily his problem. So yeah, a lot of people, myself included, just want something new. We want something refreshing, and he says he wants to drain the swamp, so maybe bringing down some corruption would be a great thing and bring some honor and dignity back to Washington.
Now, Donald Trump been a candidate that you've been with since the primary, or did you sway more towards him in the general election?
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that you chose me, because Donald Trump was my first choice on that field of 17 talented Republican candidates. Many of the people over there do not feel the same way. They often voted Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, or even Rand Paul supporters are pretty popular. So I supported Trump from the beginning because he uses political shorthand, and he talks in a way that people can relate to. People hear the career politicians talk, and they think that in a lot of ways they're talking at a higher level to intentionally misdirect them. They're not talking to explain themselves better, which, I mean, I guess in theory they are. They want to explain their policies as best as they can, but people hear it and say they're being intentionally vague and complicated so that I don't know what they're talking about, and then it gives them an opening to sort of be crooked, I guess.
Now, have you noticed, you're a millennial, are you a college student at Pitt?
Yes, I am.
Okay, have you noticed any backlash from fellow millennials, fellow college students, whether it be in class, at work, even on social media, for being vocal in your Donald Trump support?
Yeah.
Not necessarily voting for him, but being vocal in that support.
Yeah.
As you can hear, the Build the Wall chant in the background here with his fellow Donald Trump supporters.
Yeah, we've experienced a lot of backlash, and in a lot of ways it's more than we expected. We've had people come over and throw stuff off our table. We've had people throw the table itself and flip it over. We've had people grab our signs and tear them down. There are people harassing us every day on social media. People saying, like, oh, they're a bunch of babies. Like, every time we mess with them, they call the cops. Like, and in a lot of ways, we just don't feel safe. There was someone who said that they'd like to shoot us, so we called the cops for that, and probably rightfully so. And so, yeah, like, there's a lot of hostility going on, and when people mess with us, we just say, okay, like, have a nice day, see you later. It's okay to disagree with us, and I think that there's a lot of sort of people aren't getting it anymore. They aren't getting that there's two sides to this, and a lot of times we're agreeing on problems and disagreeing on solutions, and that's not okay. People are attacking us for that, and I think it's very unhealthy for the system that we're using for government. It's just not good for a democracy to have such hostility between the two sides.
Is this the first general election for president you've been able to vote for?
Yeah, I'm 19 years old, so yeah.
Okay. So I was going to ask you, have you noticed, though, this is more divisive than, say, past elections? You didn't vote in the past.
Yeah.
But would you say this is more divisive?
It certainly is. Like, a lot of the previous elections, I mean, the ones I best remember would be 2008 for McCain and Obama, and 2012 for Romney Obama. But I felt like in those elections, people were disagreeing on policy, and it stayed very, well, relatively civil. You still had the media sort of portraying Romney as racist and whatnot, but it really wasn't sort of going downstream into the public eye. But like this election, everything is so polarized, and you have people on both sides who are they're really going nuts, and it's sort of, I think we need to come back together a little bit, and I don't know what the answer to that would be. It's really hard to say. I think just a successful president for both sides of the aisle would be what we need, and I personally think that Donald Trump would be that president who works down the middle of the aisle. He's very moderate as far as Republicans go, and that's why a lot of my friends over there didn't like him. They didn't like him because he's very moderate. They wanted someone who's farther to the right, like Ted Cruz, and I just don't think that's the best answer. I think the best answer is usually somewhere in the middle of both sides.
Are you concerned that regardless of who is president, that millennials especially, or even the country as a whole, will remain divided, and maybe you might even still feel unsafe, that Donald Trump wins or loses when you go to class next week? Are you going to be concerned people who know you as a Donald Trump voter are still going to be mad at you?
And the question is, even if he loses, I would be concerned?
Right.
There's no telling what could happen. I mean, if he wins, I'm probably going to go into class with this shirt on and my Make America Great Again hat, which is going to be controversial, and people probably won't enjoy me doing that. But if he loses, I think people are going to be unhappy, but I won't feel too unsafe. I think they'll just be maybe sore winners, like you should have been on the right side of history. People have been saying that to us a lot. And I think they'd be sore winners, but at the end of the day, I'd feel more unsafe if he wins. I don't think that there's going to be much trouble if he loses, but I think there will be riots through Oakland if he wins.
Okay, and lastly, regardless of who you're voting for, do you feel it's important for millennials, college students, to be involved politically, to vote across, whether you're Hillary, Trump, independent? Do you feel it's important millennials get involved?
I think it's important they get involved and get educated, because my opinion is that it's okay not to vote if you're not educated. But I would say everyone should be educated, because I think an uneducated vote is in a lot of ways dangerous. You're sort of just choosing something you know nothing about. So when you have people going out and voting for the sake of voting, I would say that's a problem. But if people get involved, get educated, and choose their ideas based on what they've experienced through their lives and through, like, reading books is a great thing. You gotta read a lot to get places, so if people would read a lot more books on economics, on history, things like that, and get educated about it, then I think, it would be great if everyone got involved and did that. But, I mean, I think the educated people should get involved, but if people don't want to take the time to learn and get educated, then I don't necessarily think it'd be great to go out and vote for the sake of voting.
Okay, thanks, Kurt.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Donald Trump voter here outside the Hillary Clinton campaign event on the University of Pittsburgh. Some other members attending this campaign event, mostly students here at the University of Pittsburgh, get a shot here. This is where him and his fellow Donald Trump supporters are residing. They are politely far enough away from the campaign stage in relatively a peaceful protest in terms of they are supporting Donald Trump, but they are not being ruly or any of the negativity that is brought to maybe some other campaign events from either side. Make sure to check in with rabblevid.com for all of our coverage here at Hillary Clinton's campaign event on the University of Pittsburgh, and all of the news stories across Pittsburgh and the surrounding areas and beyond that even as well. Go to Rabblevid on Facebook. Follow videos like this on Facebook Live. Go to Rabblevid at rabble_vid on Twitter, Rabblevid on Instagram, Rabblevid on Google+, and find all our coverage at rabblevid.com. And if you are at an event like this, if you are anywhere and you see the news, shoot the news, send it to us. You will get paid. You get $10 for your videos and a chance at $1,000 if you get the most views on the website, rabblevid.com. Once again, Mike, live here at the Hillary Clinton campaign rally on the eve of the general election, November 8th, deciding our next president on the campus here of the University of Pittsburgh. Mike with Rabblevid News.